Three, two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Alex. You can call me Default. And today, I want to talk about something regarding the Tetro Danganronpa series. Now, before I get too far into this, I want to make something very clear that the series is not going anywhere, because it's been one of the best series I've ever covered on the channel. It's been one of my most successful series on the channel. So, don't freak out. The series is not going anywhere. But there are some things I really want to address after the last few streams with Tetro Danganronpa Blue that have kind of annoyed me, and there are things I feel like I really need to address because it's just really kind of getting stressful and frustrating for me personally. It's things I've kind of vented to my Discord server about, or even like my mods in my Discord server, because there's just things that are just they're really kind of bothering me when it comes to reacting to Blue, and it's things that really should not bother me, but they kind of are. So there's a bunch of different things I want to cover when it comes to this video. Um, and I want to start with the very first thing, and it's regarding how I react to content. And by the way, I'm not going to be putting anyone specific on, like, flame here. I'm not going to be flaming anyone specific. It's just things I've personally read from chat, from comments, just from multiple different places. So this is not targeted at anyone specifically. It's all a bunch of things I just want to cover. They're various things. Thing number one is regarding my reactions. React content is something that we all know is, like, usually one of the laziest forms of making content on YouTube. And I'll be honest with you guys, I think reacting sometimes is not my personal favorite way to make content. I've expressed it numerous times, but I love making, like, my own original content. As much as I do like the Danganronpa series, it's not my favorite thing to do in the world. I do it because I do like it, but I would love to make other content that's, like, more original and whatnot, that I put more work into. Because sometimes I feel like just doing a live stream, just reacting to stuff is just, I don't know, it doesn't feel as unique or entertaining. I mean, granted, there is a lot of people that are entertained, and I genuinely do want to say thank you to all of you guys who watch my reactions. In fact, that last stream we did was one of the biggest streams I've done on my channel. I've never had that many people watching my stream at once. So thank you guys so much for showing up for that. But anyway, when it comes to my reactions, I do want to admit that I feel like there are points where I feel like I'm not giving as much of a reaction as I could. Um, when it comes to Danganronpa, and specifically Tetro in specific, there are certain things that I feel like the community likes to talk about that I don't personally feel comfortable talking about. And one of the main things is when it comes to, like, character shipping. For me, I feel uncomfortable talking about those things. And it's not something that I even really personally enjoy doing to begin with. For me, I just personally find it that someone my age, I'm 22 years old, I'm a full-grown adult, like, I personally find it a little bit weird for someone of my age to be shipping characters that are described to be minors, like, especially in Blue, where there's 16 and 17-year-olds. I personally feel like it is not my place as someone that is an adult to be shipping characters, whether they're real or not. Especially minors. Like, I don't know. That makes me a bit uncomfortable. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I don't like talking about that stuff on stream unless it is heavily implied. Like, for example, in Tetro Danganronpa Pink, spoilers for those of you who have not watched Tetro Danganronpa Pink, but with, like, Mai and Yanagi, like, that is, like, very heavily implied, and it's literally stated in the series that, like, they have feelings for each other. So it's like, when it's something like that, like, I can get behind it because it's implied and it's said, or, like, even like Hiroaki and Ojima, like, where it's like ones where it's very heavily implied that, like, yeah, that is what's happening. But if it's like two characters that, like, it's not outright stated or anything like that, that's not really my place to say anything like that when it's not written into the story. I just feel weird about that stuff. So I don't talk about any of that stuff. I'm not like, oh, these two characters interacting, or, like, they're, like, totally in love with, like, for me that's weird. That's weird for me. Like, for me to say that stuff. If that's something that you guys enjoy, I'm not here to shame you guys or tell you guys that that's wrong. Do what you would like to do in that regard. But for me personally, I don't like to do that stuff. So that's why I never really comment on it, unless, like I said, it is stated in the source material that that is what's happening. So that's one thing. But I had a comment that I had on one of my streams recently where people were basically saying I really just don't react enough. And I honestly disagree. Like I said, while I don't really react to stuff like that, When it's like really heavy things regarding like, something happening to a character, or when it's something that has to do with like a big plot device, it's something that like, maybe it's a plot twist or something that I didn't expect, like a death. Anything like that. Um, you're gonna see me reacting. I give a very heavy reaction, especially last stream, which was part 5 of Tetra Danganronpa Blue, where we had the punishment game. I think I was reacting a lot during that stream. Me personally, I thought I was like, that was one of the biggest streams where I've had like the craziest reactions ever since like, again, Tetra Danganronpa Blue or Pink, spoilers, but like with like the stuff with Okazaki and Wada, where I really did not like how Okazaki was treating Wada. Like, that was one of the biggest streams where I really popped off and was like getting pissed at characters, or like screaming into the mic, or like yelling and like stuff like that. Um, so like, me personally, I feel like me yelling and screaming like that is definitely a reaction. Maybe it's just me, but I think that is definitely a reaction. But there are moments where I will admit, like I said, I do go quiet, or you'll sometimes see me like eating and munching, and like I've tried to kind of not do that as much on like streams nowadays, because I feel like that's kind of like lazy reactions. But I do want to also mention that I'm one of the few, reaction Danganronpa channels that I don't monetize my reactions. Like, there's no monetization. You can't super chat. There's no ads on my stream. I don't do any of that. I react fully, and I take none of the money or the credit or anything like that. I just react for the sake of it, because for one, I'd like to give some of these series more exposure, because I think it's a really good way to help out the creators of these series, because they can't make money on it, because Danganronpa just, that's like them using the IP or some, it's some kind of fucking legal bullshit where like essentially, even though they're making their own story, they're still basing it on a pre-establishing one, so they can't monetize it. So um since they can't make money, I shouldn't be able to make money either. At least that's the way I look at it. Like, especially if I'm reacting to something where they can't make money, like, why should I be able to make money and they can't? Like, that's my personal mindset. But um anyway, like, so even if I wasn't really giving much of a reaction, I don't really have much to gain either from like, just stealing the content. Like, I definitely do give a reaction. So like, I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't. There are times where like I said, I could react better, but I think for the most part, I do react pretty well. So that is the first thing I want to talk about. The second thing I want to talk about is regarding me defending some of the characters in Tetra Danganronpa Blue. Again, I'm going to talk about spoilers, so please bear with me. For Tetra Danganronpa Blue this time. Um, one of my favorite characters from Tetra Danganronpa Blue so far has really been the character of I want to say his name is Ikeda Daiki. It's, I think that's how you pronounce it. Um, which he's student number 4, if you don't know who I'm talking about. But he's a very controversial character because of the way he talks and expresses himself and the way he treats others. Um, and there's a lot of people who really kind of just dumb him down to being just like, oh, this guy is just an asshole. He is an asshole, and that's it. That's his character. He's an asshole. But like, I mean, I really don't think it's hard to figure out why he acts the way he does when you watch like, the Truth game. You figure out like what's up with him, and I mean, I feel like it's very, again, after like seeing for a while how these characters are, um, you know, it's not just as simple as like, oh, this guy's an asshole just for the sake of being an asshole. Like, he has a very complex character. And that's not just the case for him. It's the case for a lot of these characters in the Tetro series. Something that you really kind of learn even after Tetro Danganronpa pick. For example, and again, spoilers. When it came to Sasuke, Sasuke was not my favorite character at the very beginning, because I thought she was a big hypocrite, where she's the person that's like really leading the group, but she's also the one that ultimately fails and starts the killing game off. She's the one that found her pressure and broke, and she kills Isono. Is it Isono? I think it's Isono Miki. I'm sorry if I forget some of the names, but like, either way, she's the first one that kills in Tetra Danganronpa Pink. And throughout Tetra Danganronpa Pink, I really did not like her character, but as time went on, I kind of realized, okay, this is like a very, it's not just a black and white of like, oh, this girl's a hypocrite and that's it. Like, she is a very complex character, and like I said, this is the case for a lot of different characters. So the thing that I need you guys to realize is that these characters aren't black and white. It's not just like they're assholes and that's it. Like if we were talking about someone like Hifumi Yamada, who is a very one-dimensional character, at least in my opinion, maybe it'd be a different story. But like Tetro is written a lot better in terms of like some of the character writing, where it's not like I can't sit here and justify every one of their actions. Like I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like what um what is his name? I'm blanking on his name. Student. We're just gonna say Student 4 from Tetro Danganronpa Blue, Daiki. Um, I'm not gonna sit here and defend his actions. Like I'm not gonna agree with what he said, like his controversial shit that he has said in the story. But I'm also not gonna sit here and act like I'm surprised that he said it because of how he's raised and like his whole backstory and whatnot. I don't think this character is a racist. I don't think he actually means what he says. I think he's just someone that like vents out his frustration through rage and like insulting people. And I understand like that's how I feel like I interpret his character. And you know, there's a lot of people that like when I was like defending him, quote unquote, people kind of thought I was defending his racist comments and stuff, and which is not true at all. I do not support what he's like saying to people, but like you guys need to understand these characters are not black and white. It's not as simple as that. And I don't know why I feel like I have to explain this numerous times. Where especially like if people have already watched Tetro Danganronpa Pink, they should know this. So it's like, why do I have to sit here and try and justify why I like a character when if you watch Tetro Danganronpa Pink, you would know these characters are a lot more complex and it's not just black and white of oh this guy's a fucking racist or xenophobe or ableist or whatever it may be. Um, so I just have been getting a little bit annoyed when it comes to stuff like that. With like chat, like I feel like I have to constantly defend myself from chat because people will just misconstrue my words about what I say about certain characters and what I like about certain characters. So like me defending certain characters, like I don't know. And I will admit that there are times where I say stuff on stream and I word shit like wrongly. That is something that I have done before. It's not just the stream thing. It's something. It's just how I am. I'm not a perfect person, believe it or not. Like I will say things that I don't mean, and just it's because I just sometimes don't know how to properly word shit. So if you guys need me to clarify something, I'm welcome to clarify, but just don't instantly assume that I'm like an asshole because of something I say. Unless like, you know, I'm very doubling down on it or whatever. Um so that's like the other thing. And like there's just a lot of things where it comes to like these reactions where people are assuming I'm like, you know, supporting like xenophobic shit or like ableist shit, like with Student 1. I've very much admitted that I'm not a big fan of Student 1 of Tetro Danganronpa Blue. It's nothing against the voice actor, um, but like I'm not a big fan of how the character is. Like, and sometimes I will do an impression, and which it's not just that character. Like I like doing impressions for characters when I'm like talking about them. Like you'll see me do voices for a certain character. Like look back at Tetro Danganronpa Pink. I would do the impression of Johnny when he's pissed off and he goes in the mic like this, like so. I just like doing impressions of characters. It's not me doing it like it's for Student 1 and she's talking like this. It's not me being a fucking asshole and like just mocking the voice. Like even though I have admitted I'm not the biggest fan of the voice. Again, nothing against the voice actor. They're doing what their job is. Um, it's just that's just what I do. I like to do impressions. If it really bothers people and they want me to stop doing the voice, then fine, I will stop doing the voice for that character. And I've tried to not do it as much last stream because I saw some people getting offended by it. Which again, there's no reason to be offended. It's not like I'm doing it to just be an asshole. Just I'm doing impressions of the voice. Like I just like doing that. I do that for like characters in all the games where I like to do voices for, where I'll give characters voices, or if they already have a voice, I try to do a voice that's very similar to him, like Nekomaru Nii. He talks like this and he screams and he yells and he's pissed. Like I don't know. I like doing voice impressions, so that's why I do it. And like again, I will do that for other characters, like what Reddit, Doctor Reddit. I mean, you know, heroes. I don't know. It just I've been getting a little bit frustrated with some of the people in the Tetro Danganronpa community, and just I don't feel like I need to make this video, but I also feel like I do because I feel like I have to clarify shit because some of you guys are just not understanding. And this is not the majority of people. Let me clarify that again. This is not the majority of people. This is for the minority of people that are complaining in my streams or in my comment sections or wherever it may be. Video is for them so they understand shit. And if, you know, again, I don't even feel like I should have to make this video, but I feel like I do because I don't understand why it's like Tetro on blue. It's like things have changed and suddenly everyone is like getting mad at me over very very stupid shit that they just shouldn't even be wasting their time getting angry over. Um, but again, I will also clarify, like, when it comes to my reactions, like, I'm not your typical Danganronpa reactor. I'm not. I'm not, like, how do you say it? My sense of comedy versus a lot of other Danganronpa YouTubers is very different. I'm not gonna sit here and, like, sugarcoat shit. Like, I like being honest. I like making, like, I don't want to say edgy jokes, because then I sound like a fucking, like, 4chan Redditor. Like, that's fucking cringe. But, like, I make very like stupid like TikTok humor, like shit like that. Like that's my sense of comedy. That's who I am as a person. Like that's just how I enjoy being funny. And if my content's not for you, my content's not for you. I'm not gonna sit here and try and like wanna be every single person ever's favorite content creator. If you enjoy my content, then I appreciate you. And if my content's not for you, then that's fine. Like you're welcome to watch other content creators. In fact, I encourage you to watch other content creators as well, because like my reaction's gonna be different from someone else's reaction. Like Dex Price or Barbie Rampa or like any of the other people that cover like Tetro Danganronpa or like any other series. I encourage you to go watch other streamers and not just me. So let me put that out there. Um, but anyway, that's kind of all I really wanted to say. It's just a lot of things have just really been kind of bothering me as I'm covering Tetro Danganronpa recently, and I feel like I need to address them because they're gonna get pent up, and I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna crash out on stream on someone. So please, all I ask is that you guys understand where I'm coming from. Um, and if you guys want any more clarification on certain things I've talked about in this video, you're welcome to talk about it in the comment section or join my Discord, and I can talk about it more there. But again, these are just things that really, really kind of stress me out when it comes to doing these Tetra reactions recently, because people in the chat in the comment section are just, I don't know what it is, but it's been getting to be a bit much for me. Like I not that I let negative comments affect me that much, but like it just more so annoys me than it does like saddens me. It's just I don't understand why we're complaining, or I don't understand what we're getting upset about. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's it. That's all I really want to talk about. Tetra reactions are going to be continuing. They're not going anywhere. Just wanted to air this out and just let people know where I'm coming from. That's it. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep it virtual. Peace.